So, mister, I rigged my deck and made a spelling mistake in the comment. Imagine if we gave you Calibrated Blast instead of Calibrated Blast.
It's a really hard name, you know?
This is not easy. Who wants to play your decks? We do! Yes, as you saw from the thumbnail, Yamin is still off traveling the world. So I brought Thoralf undefeated in the Cardmarket feature match to play against me your decks today.
Yeah, you told me I have to pick a deck from the comments, and that's what I did.
And I can't wait to see what you're playing.
Sure,
but before we get into it, please, if you're not subbed, if you appreciate the content or we appreciate us playing your decks, please like, but not only especially sub. Our bosses check the subs to see if we're doing a good job, and maybe, who knows, if you sub, we'll send our best people on finding the arena customer service line.
Well, good. Okay, let's go to the game.
Let's do this. So Thoralf is currently undefeated in this room on camera. So I thought instead of taking the angle of outskilling him, I'm just gonna go for a really weird deck. So I scoured through the comments and found that someone asked for 8 rack. And as most decks with a number in their name, this one is pretty weird. The point of the deck is you're playing 4 of the card the rack and 4 of a card called Shrieking Affliction. They basically do the same thing. If your opponent doesn't have a lot of cards in hand, they take damage every turn. Now there's 2 ways of getting there. People cast their spells and play their lands. That's one way of emptying out their hand. But if they see the rack on the other side of the board, they're unlikely to do that. So we're playing all the discard spells. 4 Liliana of the Veil, 4 Thoughtseize, 4 Inquisition to Kozilek, 4 Raven's Crime, even the bad ones. We're just gonna strip out their hand, make this a top deck war, kill some of their creatures with some of our removal spells, but basically clock them down with the rack. And as a neat tech, this deck is also one of the many decks playing Urza's Saga because you can get the rack with it and some neat sideboard cards that you can main deck one of. You get to play a Neil Spellball. You get to play a Pithing Needle. This is probably a pretty good deck, I think. I don't know, we'll find out. Let's hope it makes it for us.
This time I brought a spicy deck, and it was actually top 8 in one of the last Modern challenges on Magic Online, played by Bob49, and it's all around Calibrating Blast. The goal is basically to just cast Calibrating Blast, find something that costs infinite amount of mana, and kill your opponent through this damage. You have Emrakul, Autochthonwurm, Sign of Draco, and Shadow of Mortality, all of those dealing at least 12 damage. So usually you have to cast the Calibrated Blast twice, but we do have some ways to deal extra damage if we hit 15. We have the Sunscorched Desert for an extra damage, the Ramanap Ruins, we can make tokens by Sosenkan, and so on. The crazy part about the deck is that even though Calibrating Blast is your win option, you can actually play some of the creatures in your deck as well. The Shadow of Mortality, if your life total is low enough, can be just a free 7/7, and also the Sign of Draco can actually be played on turn 2, given to the Triumphs and the Shocklands. So I wanted to play the deck, but Carl told me I actually have to find a comment on a video that suggests the deck. So I just went there and made it myself. So if you want to see your deck, just go in any of the videos, comment down below, and we'll pick your deck if we want to play it.
Would you like to high roll?
Hit it.
7.
I'm good at high rolling.
No, you're not.
It's a pair of 3s.
No, we're not playing Mixtion. I know this is Germany, but we don't play Mixtion. All right. All right, so this match is not in the blind, so this hand normally maybe would be okay. In this match, it's awful. It's already a mulligan in itself. The Fatal Push hits nothing in his deck. The Pithing Needle can maybe target the Channel Lands, but even then, not really sure if there's an upside to just casting it there, running it out, and we're not gonna be Mutavaulting Beatdown in this game. We're mulliganing this. I think I'm gonna have to mulligan.
Good luck with that.
Good luck with my mulligan.
I'm not quite sure what a good hand looks like, but I think this one actually qualifies as good enough. You can probably mulligan harder to one of the key cards, Calibrating Blast or Throes of Chaos, but I like to have enough lands, some utility, and the card itself, so I would be surprised if this is a mulligan. I think my hand is perfect.
All right, so 6. Hopefully my 6 is better. Okay, this hand has no rack, but we don't want it to be the one with no cards in hand, so we're not gonna ship it down to 5. I see myself getting rid of the Pithing Needle because we're not in any hurry to cast it. Hopefully we top deck a rack or a Shrieking Affliction and start going from there. You know what I think it is? So I'm gonna start off by putting this card at the bottom to go down to 6 since I mulliganed. Those are the rules. I'm gonna give you some swamps by playing an Urbog.
Actually, that's great. You have no idea how good that is.
Oh no, have I idea?
It's actually broken.
Let's find out, show me. I'll toss it to you.
Alright, so I have 2 choices and 5 lands. And I can actually cast this eventually.
Eventually. I'm gonna slow you down and take the Calibrated Blast. I'm at 18. It's your turn.
Even though my blast is gone, my plan is just to flashback it, and it's kind of awkward that the discard deck can't really interact with it, or at least if they do, we can still cast it from the graveyard. And I don't see it going from the graveyard, so what could happen? Alright, draw. Oh, beautiful. I'll go with Scalding Tarn Growth.
Untap. Draw for turn. I'm gonna play a Nurturing Peatland. And it's good to be efficient with mana, but I'm gonna wait before firing off that Collective Brutality, just because it'll give an extra turn to draw a Calibrated Blast for me to snipe out of his hand. Also, the Raven Crime, we're in no hurry to cast those. I will pass the turn.
I will take 1.
19.
For the Illuminous effect.
Closer to casting your Giant Shade.
Alright, I'll get a Stomping Ground tapped. I do not want to get shocked.
Or do you?
No, but I use the amount of deck thinning. Oh man, that would have been so good 2 turns ago. I'll ding you for 1.
Okay, 17.
You go ahead.
Closer to taking 15 twice. I'm going to draw.
Yes, please.
Okay, I'm going to Collective Brutality you. I will choose to escalate by discarding Raven's Crime because those are fine in my graveyard. So I'll select Siphoning you for 2 and looking at your hand and discarding a instant or sorcery.
Oh, joke's on you. I didn't draw
well,
anything.
you know what? If you had a Calibrated Blast, this would have been pretty good. This would have been pretty good.
Yeah, but my goal is to draw it now. So
Yeah,
it can't be discarded.
That's the Thoralf special.
Yeah.
I'm going to Siphon you. I go to 19. You go to 17. We swap.
That's actually bad. Don't get live. Stop getting live.
Not gonna lie. I'm going to select nothing in your hand.
Right.
But I will play an Ursa Saga, which does tap for black because I have an Urbark. And I'm gonna play, Second Raven's Crime.
Well, okay. I think, yeah, Gemstone Cavern seems, although I really want lands. Well, let's get the Ravens.
All right, your go.
Okay. At the end of the turn, I have the decision if I want to Boseiju the Saga, which I think is kind of reasonable as it takes a lot of speed away from Carl. I think over the long run, I'm kind of winning by drawing most of the good cards of my deck earlier than I die. Then, end of turn, I will Boseiju the Saga.
Yep, I'll get a Swamp, and the turn's yours.
Draw. Ugh, disappointing.
It wasn't a Calibrated Blast?
It was not a Calibrated.
How dare it?
I know. We'll go for a fetch land and pass the turn.
All right. Okay, well, I'm happy you didn't get your Boseiju here. I'm gonna play a Swamp and the Rack. How many cards do you have in hand?
4.
Too many. I'll pass the turn to you.
Okay, all right, go down 1. Okay, I get a Siatora's Proving Ground and draw for turn.
All right.
Oh, beautiful. So I'll play a Remnant of Ruins.
All right.
And I will discard the Silken Land.
Making creatures.
Yes, getting 2 spirits.
Beatdown plan.
And they hit you.
They don't have haste.
They do have haste.
They have haste?
They have haste.
Oh, that's so good.
Here we see the chip damage from Sun-Scorched Desert and Soak and Sun actually matters, so it gets me down to 1 flashback of the card to kill Carl. And then you go.
I will, I don't need the Nurturing Peatland. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
I will untap, draw for turn. I will discard a land to cast back Raven's Crime.
That makes Gemstone Caverns go away.
Goodbye, Gemstone Caverns. So you have
2 cards.
a land and a 13/13.
You actually know those, yeah.
Yeah, I do know those.
Yeah.
Okay, if you drop the land, you get to play Calibrated Blast.
That's the plan.
No, it's not anymore.
No!
I top decked it.
What?
Yeah, I'm playing 1. I'm supposed to fetch it with the Saga. I'm very excited about this.
That's rude.
I'm going to stack it and draw.
Yes, it's gone. Bye-bye. Okay. New Year's Spellbound wasn't that bad. I mean, I still have token that pressure, and you know what? I always have the top of my library. How bad can that be?
That was a good drop. I'll pass it. You still on a beatdown plan? I'll pass the turn to you.
All right, I'll take one.
Because you have 2 cards, yeah.
Yes.
15.
Draw. Ooh.
Did you just top deck a Calibrated Blast?
I did not. I'm honest. I will cascade this.
That is a Calibrated. Oh my God, Thoralf! You just call cards to the top of your library.
It's not Calibrated Blast, you know. I was honest. All right, let's cascade. Oh, this is beautiful.
I don't think you have anything in your deck that's less than 4. So what a surprise!
Wait, it's still mute. Wait.
Okay, let's see what you get. What should be another Calibrated
Blast? So this will
Blast?
be like random on the bottom.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah, and then we'll get. No.
Otawara, no. Oh! Okay, I'll take 4. I'll take 4. I'm at 13.
But we'll do it again next turn.
Because it's in your.
Both of them are in my graveyard.
Ah, I see.
Ding for 2.
That's very annoying. Because this one also has flashback, right?
Retrace.
Retrace.
This has flashback and this has retrace.
Okay. I'll take 2.
Yes. Go
I'm
ahead.
at 11. The pressure is on, Thoralf. The pressure is on. I'll draw for turn.
The twists and turns of magic.
You can discard one of your. I'll flashback. No, I'll retrace Raven's Crime.
Yeah.
Retrace is not a mechanic you see very often in Modern,
No.
and we're both showcasing it pretty strongly.
Yeah.
I figured that was what was going to go.
Should have played 2 spell bombs.
Should have drawn them. I'll pass the turn to you.
Alright. I think this might be it.
This might.
Draw. Beautiful. Attack.
I'm gonna just knock one out with a Fatal Push.
Take 1.
I'm at 10.
And then
Come on, you gotta add some 9 casting cost spells in your deck.
Retracing this.
Okay.
Jung.
Are you a betting man, Thoralf?
Jung. Sometimes, yeah. If I'm sure. Right now, I'm very sure.
You're very sure? You're already flipping the next card.
I don't even care.
Judge.
Oh, 12.
Oh, and I have
Left
10. 10. Okay. Okay. Next game. Thoralf,
Carl.
I'm surprised. Not only did you win, but where did you find so many bad cards?
Wow, what a smooth transition.
Did you just have them laying around?
No, actually we did, yeah. Yeah, so if you want to also, I think the deck is kind of hot, so if you also want to get on the train of buying the cards before they get really expensive, you can do that on Cardmarket. Yeah, Cardmarket is a shop on Cardmarket, and if you go into the description below, you find a link to the shop, and you can get everything from dice to all the cards for your decks, to playmats, to Cardmarket tokens, everything you ever need.
And luckily they have so many cards that you'll only pay shipping once, because they'll have all the cards on your list. That saves a lot of money. But
Let's go
time to see
game
if I can beat your awful deck of cards with my awful pile of cards.
No. For sideboarding, there's actually not much to do here. We're gonna board in 4 of the academies because, I mean, literally reads if you discard, you put it back on top. So I should be very safe against Thoughtseize and other shenanigans, all of those things. I can see boarding out some of the non-good high drops like Emrakul or Worm, but I think some of the lands are just not useful enough so we don't have to go as high as of a land card as we already play 38 lands. So we took out the Mountain, 1 Sun-Scorched Desert, and 2 of the Otawara, and that should be it. On the play, we can actually board out Gemstone Caverns as it's just a land that doesn't do anything.
So the 8-rack deck is usually great at removing creatures off the opponent's side of the board, but in this matchup, I can't get 12/12s with Fatal Push. The text just doesn't line up that way. Also, Funeral Charm could hit 1 of his 2 channeled 1/1s, but we're not playing that game. We're gonna take out 4 Fatal Push. We're gonna place those with 4 Leyline of the Void. Now, he doesn't usually win with just boinking me once in the face with his Calibrated Blast. He needs to flash it back. He needs to cast the Retrace off of his Cascade spell. If I get rid of his graveyard, he loses his second side of the spell, which is his main game plan. We're also taking out the Funeral Charm and the Pithing Needle. Pithing Needle targets some things, but is not pivotal to the matchup, and Funeral Charm, 1 card to get rid of half of his channeled Zonkinzan is not worth it. Instead, I'm gonna bring in 2 Void Mirror, because once again, he relies on playing those spells twice. And one of his spells, I don't know if he's playing 1, 2, 3, or 4 of, but I saw one of the Cascade spell that cascades into the Calibrated Blast. If I have Void Mirror, he's not able to cast those. At least takes out that, it leaves him possibly stranded with a dead card in his hand and or graveyard. Finally, the Expedition map. Usually pretty good, because in the Grindier games, I want to use it to go get a Urza's Saga that will in turn go get my Graveyard Hate. Problem is, Thoralf's deck is just a little bit faster than that. I need to get his Graveyard earlier, so I'm gonna get a Collective Brutality because it does give me a little bit of life, and it does get the Calibrated Blast out of his hand.
All right.
Thoralf, are you back to your nonsense?
What do you mean nonsense? This is real magic.
Okay, that was
magic.
nonsense. You cannot say otherwise, Thoralf.
I don't know.
Good luck, I'll go first.
People say nonsense. I say... Oh.
You giggle maniacally.
Oh. I do. My second game hand is absolutely insane. I mean, it almost can't be better. Of course, it can have a blast, but besides that, it's crazy. We're actually gonna play the Sign of Draco on turn 2. I like how the deck builder managed to line up the Triumphs and the Shocklands so that you can have all 5 basic land types on turn 2. And honestly, I don't think Carl is expecting to get hit by a 4/4 on turn 2.
I mean, this is the kind of hand you want with this deck. I have 2 discard spells. They don't hit everything, but they hit what we need. I have a Liliana of the Veil to keep attacking his hand that way, and potential minus if he plays a creature. I have the rack. It's good enough.
Are you keeping?
I'm keeping.
Okay, I'm keeping. All right, before you start.
Are you putting a gemstone line on the
I have
board?
game actions. I put a luck counter on my gemstone, Kevin.
Okay, that's 2 less cards in your hand.
That's true.
I am pleased with that.
Are you? All right.
Yeah, my rack's gonna hurt a lot earlier.
Right.
I'm gonna start off with a swamp, kicking things off, and go digging in your hand.
You're hoping to hit the blast?
Yep.
You did fail.
No blast?
No blast.
Nephalia Academy.
Oh yeah, that's my sideboard card.
You may reveal that card and put it into the library instead of putting it anywhere else. Okay, I hope you like drawing the same card over and over and over again.
Well, if it's the card I need.
I will pass to you.
All right, I'll draw. Oh, beautiful. And I will play a tapped land and pass the turn.
I will draw. Whoo, not bad. Okay, well, I have to see if you drew it now, since you'd be casting it next turn. I'll Inquisition you.
I did draw a 15 drop.
You drew a 15 drop. That is not hit by Inquisition of Kozilek. Well, I had to take my chances.
Yes.
And I'm going to play a Castle Lockway.
Yeah.
And play a rack.
Yes.
Okay. I'll pass the turn. I hope you like your 15 drops. They are gonna stay in your hand, probably.
Poor Carl. I'll fetch.
Did you draw it?
Poor Carl. I will take 1.
19? Okay, so you didn't get it.
There's a possibility that you actually don't want to cast a sign on turn 2 and instead play the Academy so you don't lose the Throes of Chaos. But the worst thing that can happen is kind of a Liliana that makes me sack the card. I don't expect the Scion actually to die to a lot of spot removal, so Liliana is kind of the only out. And if he plays Liliana, we can actually just go Soak and Sound for the tokens and play the Academy to keep the Throes of Chaos for the turn after. And then play Scion of Draco for 2. Because I have every basic land type. Go.
Do you? Oh, yeah, very nice. I would love to just seize a card out of his hand here and then play the Void Mirror and negate his game plan. But if he does drop down that Scion of Draco, I set it out most of the removal in my deck. I have no way to deal with it if he has another creature, so we're gonna have to do the Liliana plan, especially after a take 2. I can't just start taking 4 every turn. Okay, thank you for reading all the text on that card, but it's not gonna stay in play for long. I'll play a Liliana.
I worked so hard for this.
I got so far, but in the end, it didn't even matter. I'll take down Liliana.
Yes.
She's at 1. Pass the turn to you.
All right, untap. Let's see, I have 4 cards, so it doesn't care. Draw.
You can play some more cards and then take some damage.
Then, I mean, I guess we kind of have to kill Liliana. Even though I really want to hit you for 15.
You really want to hit me for 15?
Yeah. So you're at
20.
Okay, yeah. Then it probably doesn't make sense to dome you. All right, then we're gonna make 2 tokens. Hit Liliana 1.
That's way less exciting than hitting me for 12.
I know, but it's also probably way getting me to the point where I can actually hit you for 12.
That makes sense. Liliana is dead.
Yeah. You take 1, go to
First
19.
blood. 19.
And you go.
All right. I'll untap.
Yeah.
I'll draw for turn. Let's see what you're playing with.
Oh, beautiful.
I'll Thoughtseize you.
So I have the option of the 50 mana, the other 50 mana card. I mean, this is way too cheap. It's not worth it. You know?
It's way too cheap. It's not worth it.
You don't need this. No.
I'll take 2 from the Thoughtseize. I got a 17.
Who would take this?
I am going to take the Throws of Chaos.
All right, and then I will use the ability of my academy and
To put it back on top of your library?
Put it back on top.
All right, if that's what you want to draw, you're going to be drawing. You can't cast it though. Well, you can, but it's not going to do anything. I have a Void Mirror. Void Mirror reads, whenever a player casts a spell, if no colored mana was spent to cast it, counter that spell.
Yeah, I feel what you're getting at.
And I will play out an Urborg.
Yes.
Pass the turn to you.
I will take 1.
The race is on. 18.
I will draw.
What a surprise.
But I will actually play it.
All right.
All right, now we're cascading.
Oh, because you want Calibrated Blast in your graveyard.
I'll dome you.
Sorry, counter that spell.
But now it's in my graveyard.
Oh, that's a very good play.
All right, and then you got 2.
I'm at 15.
And go.
1, 2, 3, 4. I declare a top deck war. So you have 2 infinite mana spells in your hand.
Yeah.
Would you like to put one on the top of your library? I will cast a Smallpox.
Yes. I will choose not to discard Emrakul, as I don't want to shuffle my graveyard out.
Really?
And so I will discard the worm.
I have nothing to discard.
You do. I will sacrifice one of the spirits.
Yep. We each lose 1 life.
We each lose 1, and then I have to sack a land. All right, let's get through it.
Okay. I'll just sacrifice this Urborg.
Yes.
You also took 1 damage, 17.
Yes.
So 17 to 14.
Oh God.
Go.
This is on.
How many cards do you have in your hand?
1.
Oh, you take 2. Boom. 15.
Draw. Oh. This is the other side of the deck. All right, take 1.
Okay. 13.
Go.
I'll untap. I'll draw for turn. This is why people play this deck, because it's insufferable. I'm going to float 2 black. Play an Urborg. Sacrifice the untapped Urborg.
Beautiful.
Tap another. Have 3 black. I'm going to take 1 and draw a card. 12.
It's a lot of effort for drawing a card.
It is. It's a lot of tapping. Okay. And I will pass the turn to you.
All right, I'll untap and take 1
14.
and draw. It's not a bad draw. This is actually a real decision. So I drew Boseiju, but I also want to kill the stuff while playing the land, which I obviously can't do both. So there are 3 ways, right? I can destroy the Void Mirror, which I think is the worst one because the goal would be to retrace the Throws of Chaos, and that would make me have to draw another land. But if I draw another land, I could also flashback the Calibrating Blast, and I also have to draw another land to retrace, so that seems bad. And then I can destroy the Rack, which takes a lot of time from the clock. It doesn't get me any further to the blast, but I still have 2 tokens to put pressure on, which is, I think, somewhat reasonable. I'm not quite sure how Carl gets out of 2 tokens very quickly. Or I can play it as a land, and then with the next land I can already flashback the Calibrating Blast, and that should be game. So I think, all in all considered, just playing the land, getting to 5, should win the game. I will actually play Boseiju. There are some decisions, but I think playing is best, so I'll take you for 1.
Yep. I'm at 11.
11. That's the sweet spot.
That is the sweet spot.
I mean, 12 is the sweet
I'll draw a card. You have 2 cards in hand?
Yep.
So here I have to make a decision between whether it's better to play the Rack and up my clock, or just tap to draw a card. I do believe that Calibrated Blast is a hell more of a clock, so I do need to get it out of his graveyard. I have a lot of draws to get to. If I draw Thoughtseize, I can discard the Emrakul in his hand, make him shuffle his graveyard back into his library. If I draw I have 4 mana. If I draw a Land Out of the Void, I can also get rid of his graveyard, and then I can put pressure with the Rack afterwards. So I do think I'm more incentivized here to take the damage, draw a card, hope he top decks just another bunch of lands while I get rid of his graveyard. I'm going to play a Swamp.
4 mana.
Tap it, take 2 with Castle Lockwing, go to 9.
And draw.
And draw.
Ooh, alright.
Okay, to you, not drawing a land in the billion land deck. Go.
I'll take 1.
You'll take 1. You're at 13.
It's not a land.
Woohoo!
Okay, take 1.
I am very excited by the turn of events. I'm at 7. 8.
And then we'll play another Sign of Draco.
Oh, come on!
Which still costs only 2. And you go.
Okay,
You're still excited about the turn
That was possibly better than a land.
Really? I mean, you just die if I cast this.
Not if you hit a Calibrated Blast.
Not if I had Calibrated Blast.
Especially because I'm gonna have to
Excel the graveyard.
hit myself for 2. I'm at 6.
Yourself for 2. Okay.
I'm thought seizing you.
Yes.
I would like to have you discard your Emrakul
Yes, it's gone.
with your graveyard. There's a triggered effect and it hits the graveyard. But how do I beat this Scion of Draco? I mean, this is super unfortunate, but I think I'm gonna have to Collective Brutality, pitching a rack to minus this and siphon you for 2. I go to 8, you go to 11.
You go to 8.
Yep. How much does this hit for?
4.
4, that's 2 turns. Your turn, you're gonna take 2.
Yes.
You go to 9.
I actually had everything lined up, but somehow Carl wiggled through getting rid of my graveyard, getting me back down to 3 lands, and then somewhat getting a good stabilizing going on with the castle. So this is actually quite a game. I didn't think Carl would get back to this like this. I'm at 9.
I'm at 8.
All right, draw.
I don't have a 4/4 on the board though.
Beautiful. All right, take 4.
I've got 1 turn to live.
I'm at 9.
You're at 9.
So this is 11 difference, so it costs 4.
You don't even need that, really.
No. You got distracted by my plan B.
Yeah. Was this your plan A?
Ooh, you can see the power of the random 12 drops. Sign of Draco for 2, Shadow of Mortality for 4. I mean, who needs plan A when you have plan C? Carl.
I'll untap.
Here we go.
I'll draw for turn. I will activate Castle Lockcoin. Dealing 2 to myself. I'm at 2. I'm gonna thought seize you. Haha, took it from myself. Good games.
All right, easy game. Next. So how did this beating my random piles of card go?
Not very well, Thoralf.
It turns out that the actual random cards are dangerous ones.
Turns out that you can occasionally cast 13/13s if the game goes long enough.
Yeah, it's beautiful. The whole composition, again, great thanks to
It felt like we were
49.
playing draft. Oh, thanks to Bob49, yeah.
For the masterpiece.
He only plays combo decks, right? He loves his linear
I'm
glass cannon combo decks.
I'm not quite sure, but that deck is great.
Well, that's up for debate.
So wait, if we do this the next time and I comment again that I want to play it again, I can just play it again.
No,
right?
you're banned from doing that forever.
Me?
Are you even subbed?
Of course I am.
Oh, well, if you are not subbed, you should do like Thoralf and click the sub button. Only half of the viewers are subbed, and it really does show our bosses that we're doing the right thing and help us grow the channel. So if you do want us to play your decks, what do you do, Thoralf?
You sub there.
And then you scroll a bit lower, and what do you do?
You comment what deck you want to see next, what you liked, and that Carl should get his mustache shaved.
No. I'll see you in the next match.